I'm the Habitat Restoration Coordinator at Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about our Habitat Restoration Program and the impact of our plantings in a short Q&A session. So we'll go ahead and get started with why is it critical to restore Louisiana's coastal habitats? Well, Louisiana's wetlands are vitally important to our way of life. They supply the seafood that we all love, which supports our economy, but they also provide habitat for important species that depend on our estuaries. But most importantly, they mitigate storms and flooding, which helps to reduce impact from storm damage. So how much land has Louisiana lost? Well, since the 1930s, we've lost over 2,000 square miles of land. And most of this land has been the wetlands that protect coastal residents against hurricanes and storms and provides these various ecological services to both human communities and wildlife. So what types of plantings do we facilitate? Well, we coordinate and hold marsh grass and beach dune grass plantings, as well as coastal forest restoration projects. So we try to engage volunteers and stakeholders to be a part of the solution by facilitating environmental stewardship and giving community members opportunities to participate in this hands-on restoration work. We always plant native species that are naturally found in the areas we are restoring. These plants are effective soil stabilizers and they're used extensively for erosion control. So where do our volunteer plantings take place? Well, our Habitat Restoration Program has had volunteer events ranging all across our coast, from the beaches of Cameron Parish on Louisiana's west coast to the swamps and marshes in Plaquemines and St. Tammany Parish on Louisiana's east coast. So why is planting vegetation one of the most effective tools for enhancing coastal habitats? Well, it helps to prevent shoreline erosion. It promotes rapid colonization of marsh vegetation, which stabilizes the marsh edge, and it helps to prevent wetlands from turning into open water. Our plantings have actually helped stabilize thousands of acres of wetlands, coastal forests, and beaches along our coast. So how do we choose our sites? Well, we focus on restoring the wetland environments that have been impacted by coastal land loss. So the sites that we choose are critical lines of defense for surrounding communities. These areas have been affected by man-made and natural changes to the floodplain of the lower Mississippi River Delta, impacting its health and stability. So a few examples are logging, saltwater intrusion from canals, invasive species, subsidence. Some of these areas have been severely impacted by hurricanes and also, of course, levees, which were originally built for flood protection, but in the long run, they reduced the natural input of sediment into the system, which was essential for offsetting subsidence. So how do we monitor our plantings? Well, our coastal scientists will take baseline data before or right after each planting, whether that means setting up plots to assess the success of our grass plantings or individually measuring and tagging a certain percentage of trees before they go into the ground. And then we will follow up with each site annually to measure the conditions of successful growth and also the percent survival rate. So to answer our last question and kind of sum up some of the things we talked about today, how are CRCL's plantings beneficial? Well, not only does our program provide valuable education experiences for volunteers to take this meaningful action that has a long-term positive impact on our coastal habitats, our plantings also reduce the impacts from subsidence, as well as providing these critical storm buffers, which reduces the flood risk for Louisiana's coastal and inland communities. The plants that we plant will grow dense root systems that will hold sediment from the river in place, while the body of the plant absorbs wave energy and height as storms come through. The return of the natural hydrology of the area will also help to improve the reproduction and recruitment of the native plants planted, which enhances the ecology of these areas, providing essential habitat for fish and wildlife. And lastly, our plantings help to support the larger restoration efforts in these areas by filling in the gaps left by the larger projects. So examples are marsh creation projects and the planned sediment diversions. And that's all I have for you guys today. So if anybody wants to get muddy with us and would like to volunteer for an upcoming event, visit our website, sierrasail.org, and we hope to see you guys out in the future.